So this is plaintiff's exhibit E. So there are two samples here. Is the big one that they have the same as the big one that you have?
Yes.
So the small one is what they have there?
Yes. And
Okay.
the point I'm trying to make in the pictures, you can see that they're very similar because wood changes. And depending on what, if I'm staying on a piece like this, and I'm staying on a piece like this, and like this,
I got it. So what is this behind those two things?
That's this right here.
Yes.
Both our feet are in the picture, so he saw what was there.
When you take a picture in bright sunlight with two pieces of plywood that he stained different than what we agreed to, and he says his door looks like it, well, of course it does. It's all washed out. On page 9, number 3, it says, I can minimize it by conditioning and using less stain in that area. He said he would do it. Then he says, I got the sample, what color do you want? We said cognac. And he said, on August 21st, sample is ready, I can drop it off at 4:15. And then August 24th, he says, Dean, if you're ready, I'd like to come by and measure so we can order the doors before I leave. So we okayed that sample, which was that sample after he used the conditioner. 4 days later, he was going to come measure. He didn't have time to make another sample. That was the final sample.
Okay,
but
that's the dispute that it boils down to. I'm not saying who's right or wrong yet, but it boils down to whether or not that's the first or third sample. Because I don't really think there's much dispute that that appears different than the larger wood.
That was the original sample.
Yeah, this one.
So,
okay, I'm going to go ahead and open it back up to my colleagues.
So, Mr. Hannon, why is it their burden to carry the weight of this unmeeting of the minds in this context, especially when your own licensing board concluded that this dispute is unresolvable, give them back their down payment and walk away and take the loss?
The only thing they said was, you made some mistakes in your contract, fix it, give him his money back, and we go away. And that's all that happened. There was no hearing, there was no determination.
And you did. You agreed to resolve this matter by giving them back $3,000 or so. So now you're coming to me. Despite that agreement, you want us to give you $3,000.
Well, because I gave them back their money. The contract at that point is even. There's no money owed and no money spent. There's nothing going on there, okay? Until I bought materials, which is what I did.
Okay, I have nothing further. We'll excuse the parties while we deliberate in this matter. Thank you all very much.
This courtroom is now in recess.
I'm still stuck on the preliminary issue.
Yeah.
The board resolved the issue by directing the plaintiff to return the down payment. He did. And as a result, the defendants gave up their right to pursue it with the board. That settled the matter. Now he comes to us and says, well, now I want to be reimbursed material money that I spent. I don't think that's fair. So on that issue alone, the plaintiff fails. The defendants were entitled to get what they bargained for,
Absolutely.
And they didn't get it.
You definitely get what you pay for, and I'm concerned that the plaintiff just refused to even admit that the two were different. But it was clear to me that they were two different shades, and they gave him a sample, said this is what we want, and he said that he could get it done, and he didn't. So it's simple as that.
Yeah, I disagree on the issue with the contracting board. They essentially concluded that he had a couple of business and professions code violations unrelated to the quality of his work. So had I believed that the board, the contracting license board, had determined that his work was subpar or that he breached the contract, I would find that to be conclusive. I don't believe that they did. However, what changes my mind in this case is the plaintiff's complaint, where the plaintiff admits that the defendant came and said, the stain doesn't look right. The plaintiff said, I explained to him that, sometimes it's not uniform. But then the plaintiff said under oath that I assured him that I could get the cabinets done the way he wanted. And I think that changes the calculus for me, because it's very clear that these homeowners were very particular, and I think the plaintiff assured them it will be exactly what you want. And under those circumstances, I'm inclined to agree that he can't collect any.
Okay, so I agree with you. The plaintiff fails. How do you feel, Judge?
Oh, he failed. So I think we're unanimous on that.
Great. Okay. We have a
Excellent.